Seamus, do you want an opening statement or just open up for questions?
Just open up for questions.
Okay, great. Excellent. All right, we're joined by representatives from Nebraska. We'll open it up right away for questions. Please identify yourself and fire away.
Hey, Greg. Robin Washington.
Hey, Robin.
Coach Porter Mosier mentioned 16 to 8-minute mark in the second half is what really kind of defined the game in his mind. What do you think were your vantage point flips during that 8-minute stretch to kind of kept guys in control?
Well, that's a heck of a team, a well-coached team, and it's just a great win for our program. You know, that being said, I didn't love our start where obviously, I mean, we get down 10-0 right out of the chute. And I thought Oklahoma threw the first punch, and they were the more physical team early in that game. And, you know, I give our guys a lot of credit. They found a way to withstand it. We talked before the game that the biggest thing that would win this is how we handled adversity. And, you know, I thought we did that well, especially when we got down 16, I think. We dug ourselves that hole in the first half, and then we started finding a mismatch. We slowed down. We, you know, their switching bothered us early in the half, but once we, you know, got the ball to the right guy and took our time and got the ball inside, we started scoring it, and that got us a little rhythm. And that's what was able to cut it to striking distance to get it to 7 before half, and then, you know, dug ourselves a little bit of a hole. I think got back down double digits, and then, you know, we went on an unbelievable run. And, you know, a big thing I think with that is we started getting deflections. We started getting our hands on balls, and that led to some runouts and you know, some transition shots. And then these two guys were unbelievable. And then, you know, I give Jamarcus a lot of credit. He had a really tough first half, and, you know, not even a great first 5 minutes. And then he caught fire. And, you know, another guy that I thought was a huge factor in that game was Kale. I thought Kale was unbelievable in just doing a little bit of everything for us. So, you know, just guys found a way. It was, you know, great resiliency by him. You know, now we'll see what we're made of. We have a big emotional win like this. We can't be satisfied. We've got to bounce back. You know, you guys are going to write good things about them, hopefully. You certainly write bad things about them when things don't go well. So, you know, things went well for us, and, you know, now we got to find a way not to listen to it and bounce back with a great day of practice on Monday.
Fred, how do you think you guys handled Oklahoma's just size and physicality in the second half compared to the first?
Well, the biggest positive in the first half, we had 0 turnovers. And, you know, when you look at the final box, you have 20 assists and 5 turnovers against a physical, tough, you know, deny passing lanes, you know, get up full court and pressure you. You know, to only have 5 turnovers in this game was a huge reason that we got it going. And listen, this team is built where it's not going to be the same guy every night. And tonight it was these two guys. Jamarcus had all 14 in the second half. I thought Burke was terrific all game long. And, you know, our guys did a really good job of finding and screening for the guys that had it going. And, you know, that's what it's all about is, you know, I can't call a set play on every possession. I can't call, you know, 30 timeouts to set something up. And our guys, the flow was incredible in this game, and you shoot 64% in the second half against a really good defensive team. So, yeah, I guess long-winded answer to your question, Wilson, I thought we handled the pressure and the size about as well as we could. And then the rebounding, it was even, you know, 30 apiece, and held them under 10 offensive rebounds. And, again, that was a big key. The one thing I didn't, you know, they got comfortable. And a lot of that was we just couldn't guard the ball. We didn't guard the ball well in the slots, and they were kicking it out, spraying it out. They got hot, and it was really tough to shut them off. And they were making tough contested shots. But when you're comfortable like these guys were, those shots are a lot easier to go down. So our defensive energy, intensity has been really good all year. I mean, it's really been the best thing we've done all season. But we got to get that hunger. We got to get that intensity back on that end.
With Kale, how big specifically were those minutes in the first half when Jamarcus had his foul trouble?
Yeah, they were huge. And, you know, the second half as well, you know, one thing we talked to our guys about is drive the ball. They're staying home on the shooters. And, you know, whether we drew contact, we did a good job getting in the bonus. Oklahoma's made more free throws than their opponents have attempted. It's one of the best things they do. And I think we flipped that tonight. We got to the free throw line 27 times to their 21. And, yeah, so it was I can't remember what the hell you asked. About Kale, yeah. And Kale just, you know, but he just kept going. You know, he got to the basket. He had a big and one. He drew a couple fouls. You know, he just plays with so much poise. That's the beauty of Kale. He just, you know, he can play any position on the floor, and it's just his overall basketball IQ is as good as anybody on our team.
Right. Talked about staying with it, even when things weren't going early. How you guys kind of slowed things down stuck after Coach Moser said that he felt like his team kind of wore down physically, and that you guys, your conditioning kind of was a separator down the stretch. Did you kind of feel things turning a little bit because you were able to stay patient, that eventually you got that rhythm and maybe swung momentum?
Yeah, absolutely. We got some good transition looks, and thought our offense, our pace was really, really good, and they just couldn't, withstand all those screens that big boy Rienk sets. It's hard to get over those screens, and we just kept at it. And proud of how we kept fighting the whole game.
Hey, Pryce, Matt Tilly, KTV Omaha. You played in this venue last year with Iowa. What was the atmosphere like today?
It was absolutely unbelievable. I was talking to Pentagon representative out here, and he was saying that's the best environment he's heard in the 100 games that have been here. And I'd say the same thing. It was just a different environment, and that was a huge part of the win. So.
And let me build on that real quick. You talk about the conditioning and all. The crowd had a lot to do with that. When you got 99% of the fan base out there cheering you on. That's Pryce 100% right. That was a huge factor in this win, but they almost willed us to keep going. And I kept asking Pryce, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, leave me in, coach." And Rienk, same thing. So we're going to ride them. And again, I think our fans had a huge part in winning the conditioning battle tonight.
Rienk, in a chaotic environment like this, Fred mentioned the limiting the turnovers. How do you, as a veteran, just keep things level and even in a situation like this?
You try and keep reminding the guys, like, hey, whatever happens, if they score, they have a little run, like, just stay poised. I try and be an outlet if some of those guards get heated up. Try and throw me the ball. I can settle it down and just go to a quick handoff or a easy ball screen. Sometimes if somebody gets it going, like I know in the first half, Pryce just hit one, and I'm like, hey, let's run this action for Pryce right now, just to get everybody on the same page. And if you can help guys know what they're doing, that settles them down quite a bit.
Pryce, Chase Madison, 1011 News in Lincoln. Just you've obviously played this venue before. Nebraska's played here the last 3 years, but just in that second half, just what were the conversations in a very loud huddle, and really just how fulfilling is it to post a second half like that, and now you guys are 4-0 this season?
Yeah, at the beginning of the half, it was stay together. Keep chipping away at the lead, and then once we got that lead, just put the foot down and keep going, take care of the ball like we did, get into our flow. So it was hard to hear each other, but yeah, it was good conversations.
Hey, Rienk, when things were struggling offensively early, Pryce was kind of the one guy that got things going a little bit. Just what kind of impacts has he made, not just tonight, but over the course of the season, with the offense he's able to bring when things are slower than this?
Yeah, he was huge in that, just in the first half of getting us going. I'd say BK was big time of getting us going in that first half too. But he's so poised. He was one of the first to recognize, like, hey, if I just drive it, they're staying home. Let me go finish. His ability to shoot and stretch the floor makes it way easier on everybody else. There's just so much space because they're staying home on him. So I know he's going to be able to do that all season, but he was big time with that today.
Rienk or Pryce, either of you, just what do you think it was about the ball movement tonight that created those looks that get shot 56% from three?
All week we talked about poise. I'd say in the last game we were kind of stagnant. We didn't move as well, so that was a big factor, big emphasis in practice to just keep moving, keep cutting. We worked on that a lot, and I'd say that translated to the game.
Brett, earlier in the week you said pace and purpose were two big areas of focus. How did you see this team put that into practice?
Yeah, I'll translate for Rienk. Our pace and purpose sucked last week, so to find a way to get it back tonight, and that's what you want from your team. We had a long film session and cleanup after the Maryland Eastern Shore game, and I thought our guys carried that over to the floor, and that's what you look for as a coaching staff is how your guys do when they come out of the film room, and to be able to carry that over into this game, and we needed every one of those points. Obviously, we played a hot team tonight, and I thought our pace and purpose and screening and everything that we did was off the charts. And again, we're going to need that. That can't be a one-time thing. We got to find a way to bottle that up and go out and replicate it again on Thursday.
Pryce, Mike Scarlett shooter on. You had a career high 28 tonight. What do you feel is working for you, and what would you like to do in front of the environment that we have here?
Yeah, I came out and hit my first two shots or whatever it was. Might have missed one, but I think it was really just getting downhill. I give a lot of credit to my teammates, like Rienk said, setting up plays, setting up actions to get me going, carrying them out, and then just making the right plays. Really, our team is super unselfish. So keeping the ball moving, getting downhill. You know, it's going to be big for me to get downhill and not just settle at the three-point line the whole game.
Brett, going back to the crowd real quick, this may be a little above pay grade, but you guys are obviously contractually.
There's a lot of things that
Contractually expected to be here for the next couple of years. How much would you like to see this be an annual thing extended?
Yeah, we love it here, and you know we get a benefit from this game. It helps us. It helps us financially. So you know we're going to keep coming up here. I know our fans love it. They circle this game on the calendar as one of the highlights of the year. And you know it was last night. We saw a bunch of people at dinner when we went out as a team, and you see them at our hotel. You know we had the "Go Big Red" chant from about 30 kids when we were walking out to the bus today. It was really cool. And yeah, I mean this is a great venue. I think I might have scheduled one of the first college games when I was at Iowa State. I didn't coach it, but I think I scheduled it. So I've always known this is a really cool place. And, yeah, we're certainly going to keep coming back because it's an advantage for us. It's a neutral game, but obviously we get the majority of the fans. So, you know, we'll keep hunting for good opponents, you know, to make this a good, you know, a fun, exciting game, and we're going to continue to do that. And I got to give Pryce some credit, too. 7 assists, that's a career high as well, and 0 turnovers. I mean, that's big time.
Anything else for coach and players?
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Safe travels.
Yeah, you too.